And yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a special edition of the male soap opera moment, Payback style, coming at ya here with Damascus and Vincent Kennedy Bucci, the current, and I mean current, champion. And you might as well put an asterisk by that, because by this time, a few hours from now, give or take with the YouTube upload time, Vinny is losing that belt around his shoulder. And Booch, I kind of want to get maybe patch your therapist in, because there's going to be a lean. You're going to have one belt and the other shoulder, you're going to have some scoliosis going on or something here. But all medical issues and drama aside, great for everybody to be here in Wenz world. And again, this is our time to shine. This is the male soap opera moment, a show for the wrestling fan of any capacity. If you're a part-time fan, you only watch Raw, you only watch SmackDown, you only watch NXT. Well, you are in the place to be, because we are for all three. So let's get started here. Payback predictions. The first match, this is a heavy hitter, right? They say don't give them what they want first, but we do it the exact opposite here in Wenz World. We give you what you want when you want it. And a lot of people don't want this match, but apparently WWE does. The buildup has been lackluster, seems forced. It seems kind of like a not the best thing. Desmond disagrees, and I love that. Let's talk about this as Seth frickin' Rollins, the champion, the world heavyweight champion, takes on Shinsuke Nakamura, who apparently has some, wait, this is my ear, insider information about Seth Rollins' back and how he is going to be the cause of current future family drama. Kind of like Back to the Future, like part 2, where the future, it'd be like the future Seth Rollins, where he gets like the facts that he's fired for the insider trading or whatever. That's kind of what Shinsuke is predicting for Seth freaking Rollins. Good promos, but let's all be honest. I'm going to make my first prediction here. This belt ain't changing hands at this pay-per-view. That's my prediction. Let's move on to Damascus Dez. He's on in parts unknown here, driving safely here, probably at a red light since he's looking at the camera. But let's get his prediction on Shinsuke and Seth Rollins.
I will agree with you on one point. I do think that at this pay-per-view, Rollins is going to maintain the belt. But I don't think this rivalry is going to end at this pay-per-view. I think that it's done really well. I think the build-up has been great, actually, because this is the most interesting Shinsuke has been in years.
Well, that's is that hard to do? Is that really a high bar?
Well, no, it's like he's definitely been mishandled. I love Shinsuke as a heel. I think he's much better as a heel. And the way he is doing this right now, the way that he targeted Seth Rollins, because Rollins, when he whispered into Rollins' ear before he attacked him, you had that sudden look of Rollins' face like, wait, what? We were just friends. You were here to help me. And then, bam! To me, that was beautiful, because you get all these real big shock value turns where the guy wasn't expecting it to happen, and then Shinsuke pretty much told him, you're about to get hurt. But Rollins didn't really expect it to happen right then. And then, boom, he get that Kinshasa right there. Is a great way to start this rivalry. And I like the fact that, Shinsuke has been willing to talk in English for his promos while he's a face, but I love him just ignoring that fact while he is a heel. And now instead of getting titles, I love this. That is her heel mentality. I don't give a damn what the fans understand. They're going to have to figure it out. To me, this is really, really good build-up for Shinsuke. This is the best storyline, the best way to make this happen, to really nail in the heel turn. I don't think this rivalry is ending at Payback, but I do believe that Rollins will walk out with that belt.
There you go. So we got 2 for Seth freaking Rollins. Booch, what say you?
Well, first of all, I'd like to address one thing earlier. If anybody on this show is going to need a therapist, it's going to be the Wenz, because you're going to need a couch to sit on for the emotional trauma he is going to suffer when I once again retain my title. And also, there is one asterisk here. He's right about that. He said I'm the prediction champion. He forgot the words undisputed prediction champion. That's right. I got 2 belts here. Booch 2 belts is standing right here. And at Payback,
2 belts.
I am going to make the Wenz once again acknowledge me. So let's just clarify that right off the bat. That being said, and Dez will acknowledge me secretly because he'll never do it publicly. So I'm not even going to bring him into this. So anyway, as far as this rivalry goes, there is one thing that Dez said I need to correct a little bit. When he whispered into Seth Rollins' ear, it was not just it was the fact that he said, "I know about your back," because by this point he had already turned on him. The turn on already happened. So Rollins was expecting anything.
No, it didn't. He whispered, "I know about your back," and then Rollins had the confused look on his face. Shinsuke backed up to the corner and attacked him from behind.
Well, no, he got it confused because he said, "How do you know about my back?" Because he already turned on him after the tag match the week before when they were teaming up and Nakamura kicked him.
That was the same week. Go back and watch it again. It was the same fucking week.
There's no way that was the same week because it happened at the end of the show.
It was the same show. Exactly. At the end of the show, they're all celebrating.
And then he kicked him, and then a week later, Rollins came out.
He didn't just kick him. No, he didn't just kick him a week later. He didn't do that. He walked in. He said it before he kicked him.
Okay, I gotta go back and see that because I swear to God I thought that was a week before. But anyway,
you got this wrong. Keep this on record, Wenz, because this is the second time that I have corrected him on your show.
Okay.
I gotta say this. This could be a proverbial tiebreaker. If there is a tie between you two, and I'm at the bottom of the pack here, if Desmond, if you're right about what you said you think happened, then you're gonna win the championship.
I wouldn't use that as a tiebreaker because that's just stating history.
Okay, well, so I'm looking at this, and here's the thing. If the thing about Seth Rollins' back is true, as far as I'm concerned, that just proves the point that Dez and I did agree on, which is that Finn should have won last month. Because now...
here's the thing. There is a lot of truth to this. I can already tell you that because actually the first start of showing a weakness that he had was in NXT. And I know because I've been watching back in NXT. I just finished watching him win the first NXT championship. But he got hurt by he got kayfabe hurt at least on his back on the same episode that Bray Wyatt debuted.
Wait, so this is a back injury that's been going on since then?
Yes, he has repeatedly had injuries, minor injuries over the years that he's just never taken care of.
Well, then that changes my whole opinion because I was going to say if this is a serious injury, maybe Nakamura might walk out with the championship. But now that I know that, I got a whole new different outlook. I may just go with Rollins, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do because if this is a serious injury, I probably think Nakamura will be walking out. I've even heard rumors that Damian might cash in during this match anyway. So it would I don't know why they would give it to Nakamura only to have Damian take it from him.
The same reason they had Bianca win, just to lose it to Io.
Well, Bianca was a different story. She had been like a champion multiple times. Nakamura hasn't had a long ass title reign, and rightfully so. No. So I'm just saying.
To me, it's the same concept. You're giving someone an extra notch on how many times they've won the title without having them actually have a run with it. And I hate that shit.
And Nakamura doesn't fall into that category. So because
he doesn't yet. He hasn't yet. But
so I'm saying he hasn't. Yeah. So I'm saying he doesn't fall into that category. So I doubt they would do that to him. Now, if he was an established champion, maybe. But that's what I'm saying. So they'll probably have Rollins retain and have Damian beat him since he's feuding with the Judgment Day anyway. So I'll go with Seth on this one.
So we got all three for Seth and a whole lot of things that a lot of people had no idea about. And that's what you get here in Wenz World. Exclusive wrestling knowledge. Injuries dating back to the NXT days. Man, that's stuff that you got to do the digging on. And that's started rewatching. And that's what you'll get here with Damascus Dez and Vincent Kennedy Bucci. The next match, this is one that I think a lot of us are super excited about. Could be the match of the night. Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship. Now, Damascus Dez, you're chomping at the bit here, but I want to give the champion his due. I want to let him, give us his prediction for who he thinks is going to take home gold, baby.
All right, the Women's World Championship. First of all, I want to say I'm excited for this match. Apparently, this is one of the matches that was supposed to happen at SummerSlam, but they cut it, and that was BS.
Yep.
And I enjoy this match immensely because not only are we finally seeing a women's world title match with two women who actually deserve to be in the women's title picture, we're going to see a real battle here. And I love this. Two women who are badass. I love Raquel Rodriguez. I think she is phenomenal. I know her from her NXT days. This is a girl, you give her the ball, she will run with it. However, I don't know if they're ready for Rhea to drop the ball yet because she's on a roll. Her and Dominic have incredible chemistry to the point where they're now on at least 2/3 of WWE. SmackDown sometimes when they're lucky. So as much as I would love to see Raquel win, and I will not be upset if she does, I'm going with Rhea Ripley.
Safe bet. Very safe bet. Damascus Dez, what say you, sir?
I'm looking forward to this match too. Because the build-up has been great. They've had a lot of will they, won't they with this match. All right, because it's like Raquel would step up and like she's going to, then they would have her be injured. They have her go up to the tag team titles, but then have a little side thing going on with Rhea. It has been a long time building, and I love it because it's not something you see very often. So I'm definitely looking forward to this match. But a lot of what Vinny said is true here. And I say that like I'm surprised, but it's this is one of those moments where I don't think Rhea's going to be dropping the belt just yet. And for different reasons. Not just because of the role she's on, but also because they already are having dissension with the Judgment Day. And I think until they fully reach the climax of the problems with the Judgment Day, whether they remove or separate of Damian or Finn, whoever leaves the group, until the problems within the Judgment Day are done, I think having her drop the belt makes the Judgment Day as a team look too weak. Because right now she is the mainstay of the team. So I think this will be another one of those where there will probably be a second and a third match. And I think that Raquel is going to lose this one.
Yeah, and she doesn't really lose a lot by losing this. I think if you've been paying attention, you know what everybody knows, and that she'll get her day. She'll get her day in court. It's just not right now. It's just too soon.
It depends. It depends on how they make her lose it. If it is a definitive win for Rhea, then this could be really bad for Raquel. But if they do it right, have a little cheating, a little maybe, or hell, even a disqualification, something that keeps the rivalry going.
Yeah, and I mean she's a heel, so you could definitely pull that off if you're Ripley. You know, you could have Dirty Dom ringside, distract the ref just for a moment. That's all it takes. Get a slightly unclean win, and it facilitates and builds her role as a heel, but it also lends favor to Rodriguez for a rematch. And again, you're right. This is not the end of this. I too am going to go with Rhea Ripley. Too soon to let her drop that. So here's an interesting one that I don't know. I was really kind of like stuck on this one. I think that's the right word. For the Steel City Street Fight, as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going up against the aforementioned Judgment Day, Finn Balor, who needs a win so freaking bad, and Damian Priest at his side for the undisputed WWE tag team titles. I was really struggling with this. I went back and forth at least 3 or 4 times because I see 2 different paths that could be taken here. I don't, and really, whoever we pick to win, basically we are telling people how much longer we think the Judgment Day is going to stay intact. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think having everybody in the Judgment Day holding gold in some capacity, plus the briefcase, is gold right now for this company. It could happen. It will happen. So you heard it here first, folks. The Wenz is going on record and saying the Judgment Day will defeat the champions, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and become tag team champions. Whoever wants to go next, go ahead. Speak up.
this is an interesting match. Like you said, I disagree with it. Not because, but only because, like you said, I think this is a matter of how long are they going to keep stringing along this breakup. I think this breakup is going to happen. We've been saying it. We've been saying it, but the whole story's been building to it. It has to happen, and I think that they need to have the whole Damian and they need to have the Damian and Finn Balor thing come to a head before Survivor Series, so that when Damian wins the title, there's a set direction without this extra dissension in here. So I'm gonna say that Sammy and KO will retain the titles.
Whoa! All right, we got our first point of difference here. Booch, which way you rolling?
Well, I gotta say, I'm in agreement with Dez on this one because there is going to be that Judgment Day breakup, and especially if Damian is in fact going to cash in and win the world title, they're not going to have him be a double champion. That's just not going to happen. I'm not saying it's not doable in wrestling. MJF is doing it right now, but I don't see Damian Priest holding two belts at the same time.
It never works out well.
It does it rarely. And also, if the Judgment Day is going to break up, because like I said, they've teased it too much, then it would make no sense to make them tag team champions and break up. And I know they've done the tag team title breakup thing before, but it's always been stupid. It's always been illogical, and it always made no sense, and it wouldn't make sense now. So I'm going with Kevin and Sammy on this one too. So I'm going with that.
Wouldn't it be sexy and cool to keep the tension there with the Judgment Day for just a little bit longer, to just keep Finn and Damian at each other's throats, keep building on that? Because I mean, they could really make this a freaking volcano right now. I mean, now it's cool, but they can make this thing erupt in a couple months. So just a thought, and that's why I think that's the direction they're going. And I hope I'm right, because listen, if I'm wrong, I'm paying with a point on this match. Des, what were you going to say?
I think it is too soon after Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler broke up with the titles for them to do it with the Judgment Day. It's the same thing with better build.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. We'll find out in a few hours' time. Another thing I found out is that WWE is not afraid to let the old man wear some United States gold. And he's going to go up against a guy who beat John Cena at last year's Mania, a guy who had incredible steam and momentum, but really it's just kind of fizzled and died down. I was shocked when Escobar lost the championship to Mysterio. I will not be shocked when Mysterio defeats Austin Theory and retains this championship. You heard my prediction. That is it. Booch, what say you?
Well, normally I know this is the first time I probably ever said this about a U.S. title match, but we found our bathroom break right here because this is goddamn ridiculous. Because first of all, Austin Theory has no business being in this match. This is a guy who, and you can only blame creative for so much. This guy has literally done nothing to elevate the title, nothing to elevate himself. It's ironic that he held this mid-card title for so long because his whole career has been mid. And I don't even hate Austin Theory. I hope someday he gets it together and gets up there. But right now, he has shown nothing. The U.S. title, it does more harm than good to put it on him. You got Rey Mysterio. We all love Rey Mysterio, Hall of Famer, respect him greatly. He didn't need this belt any more than Theory does. I'm very frustrated that it's not behind the waist of LA Knight. At least he could do something with it while they get him ready for a world title shot down the road. You know, it could be something to set him up, because normally with a mid-card title, that's what you used to do. You used to put the Intercontinental, the U.S. title on the guy while you groomed him to be the next big thing. Then when it was time for him to be the next big thing, that title went away, and then he got put into the world title picture and eventually became a top guy or the top guy, depending on how over he was. But instead of having LA Knight over on this side, resurrecting a dead title, they want to put him over here and resurrect a dead career. So we'll get to that later. But anyway, my point is, I don't see Rey Mysterio losing this title because A, Theory does nothing with it, and B, we've been talking about this Judgment Day breakup. There's another breakup I know is coming around the corner. I see Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar having some tension there too. So I think Rey's going to hold on to that till Santos is either shoot or kayfabe, depending on the injury, healed up. I think Santos is going to turn because he's proved in NXT he's a phenomenal heel. And then we're going to see him and Rey go for the belt, and Santos will take it from Rey Mysterio. So 100%, I'm going with Rey to beat Austin Theory.
Des, what do you think?
I agree with everything you said about Austin Theory. I love Austin Theory. I do. I'm going to say it right now. But the way that he has been doing this stuff right now, it's one of those. He, to me, is exactly where John Cena was during his ruthless aggression phase. He had something to go with. It was something that could easily be built upon, and he has done nothing with. Cena admitted that he fucked it up because he had a setup. He had it ready to go, and he just didn't do anything with it. And I think it's time Theory realizes the same thing. Because they gave him all the tools. They gave him a U.S. championship. They were booking him to win, and he just could not make anyone care. And I think he's a good heel, but he needs to be better. He needs to step it up.
I mean, now you got me reconsidering. They may use this as that stepping stone, but I'm going to stick to it.
The problem is the win isn't the problem. They've given him wins.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is him. And it's like he's got the look, he's got the in-ring ability, but something about he's got an okay amount of charisma, but he has a hard time making us care.
Yeah, he needs somebody to. Yeah.
It's gonna be another three-way tie. As much as I would like to say that Santos is gonna turn on Rey. Now you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take a chance. Santos Escobar is gonna win this goddamn championship. And I think this is the point where I don't know how it's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe he turns the LWO against Rey. Finally agreeing with everybody, basically saying, "Look, Rey stepped up and took the title out from under me. I didn't get a one-on-one shot, a return for it. So maybe Rey just wants the title for himself. So now he's gonna. So now that's the way he's gonna look at it. And nobody's gonna believe it, but that's a heel way to look at things. Santos Escobar, new United States Championship. I'm taking a chance.
It's Rey versus Austin. Santos is
in the match. It wasn't. Oh, I thought it was gonna be a triple threat match.
No.
Fuck it. Okay, well then in that case, that would be an interesting thing. No, he wouldn't turn on to make Theory win. He already has issues with Theory too. Yeah, if in a one-on-one match, Rey Mysterio wins. There's no surprise there.
Yeah, great speech though.
I was moved. I was like, does he know something I don't know? I was looking through my notes.
I was like, he was so passionate about it. I was like,
excuse me. Well, my bad. This was.
But what if they do? I mean, what if they do turn this into a triple threat? You would be the freaking genius. So own it.
God, I was like,
die on that hill. Die on that hill, Des. You'll never know.
The GM.
Okay. We got to move on.
SmackDown superstars, aren't
they? As far as we know, Escobar is still injured. So I don't know how long that's going to last. And that's one of the reasons why Rey and all that. So anyway, moving forward. We talked about LA Knight before. We're going to talk about him again right now. You talked about resurrecting a dead career, Booch. Was that a cheap shot? Was that a low blow against Mr. Miz, Mike the Miz?
No, that was factually accurate. And let me just say, I love the build up to this match. I've never loved LA Knight more than I do right now. I'm going to say that. Oh my God. And it's not even that he's making fun of the Miz, because everybody does that. And the Miz is an easy target because for obvious reasons. But every single thing LA Knight has said leading up to this feud, and Wenz, if you go through the Wenz world history, you know this to be true. Have I not said those same things for years? And all the time that you and I have worked together on the male soap opera moment, every damn thing I have said about the Miz, this man brought up. Because here's the truth. The Miz has been in WWE for 20-something years. Not one classic match an individual can name off the top of their head. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. What value did he bring to those championships? 0. Can barely remember a classic title match.
He was a damn good Intercontinental champion. I will give him all the credit in the world for Intercontinental champion.
I disagree, but that's fine. You can do that. But I'm going to say, has it brought any value? Also, he brags about main eventing WrestleMania. He was the background act for Cena and The Rock. That was literally a stepping stone match. And as someone who was in the Georgia Dome and saw that match live, no one gave a single fuck when him and Alex Riley walked to that goddamn ring. And the only reason that match even main evented WrestleMania, because it shouldn't have, was because The Rock was involved in the finish of the main event. And in the double count out, Cena throws Miz back in the ring after The Rock restarts the match. Rock plants Cena with a rock bottom. Miz pins him 1, 2, 3. Before he can even celebrate, Rock hits him with a spine buster, people's elbow, pinned him. He was the WWE champion, and he was the third wheel in a main event match. That's sad. Even when he cashed in Money in the Bank, when people play that back, they barely pay attention to the Miz. You know what they pay attention to? The girl with the angry face in the crowd. That's the most memorable moment. This is a guy who's been outshined and upstaged by legends, by fans, and even by his stunt double. It's the most the fact that he's even allowed to compete in this match is because he's a goddamn company mascot. His biggest skill is cutting promos, which would be great if he was a heel manager. He'd be one of the greatest heel managers to ever live. But he is classified as a wrestler, and as a wrestler, he is the drizzling shit. And I look forward to LA Knight winning this match and putting the Miz's career right back where it belongs, in the trash.
Wow.
And that's not an insult. That is just a fact of life.
I mean, there's so much about what you said that's inaccurate. He's a freaking Grand Slam champion. I mean, he's a 2-time world champion. That's more than most wrestlers in that locker room can say. And he is willing to be the butt of every single joke. You talk about his character having the ego the size of Mars. The dude literally puts his ego in the ring and says, "Here, throw rocks at it, kick it, throw it, hit it with a steel chair." I can't understand the level of disrespect that you have for this man. I don't know what, if you just secretly are in love with him or what. I just don't get it. I understand not liking somebody. I don't like John Cena. I think he's a total cheeseball, but I also admit he's a great guy. Like he goes to the hospitals and talks to dying kids and grants wishes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Miz is the same kind of guy. You're talking about him being the mascot. That's John freaking Cena. That is John freaking Cena. He does the same stuff. You just don't like him, so you view it differently. That's the truth, Booch. And that's the fact of life.
Ooh.
Damascus Dez. Oh, but I also think the Miz is losing this match. I take LA Knight.
Brought you back to reality for a second.
All right, Wenz, I'm gonna right there with you. Here's the thing. Miz is phenomenal at making you hate him. And now I will say this: the last couple years, his win-loss record has been so fucking atrocious that it's really, really hard for him to put someone over to really benefit them. But he is still a Grand Slam champion. His resume in and of itself makes him a great person to put against LA Knight, because when LA Knight beats him after these phenomenal promos the two of them have together, and they have both had great promos against each other, this has been a great build. If it wasn't for how badly that Miz has been booked in the last 3 to 5 years, then this would be main event level shit right here. As it stands, Miz is going to lose this match, and because you can't kill LA Knight's momentum. It's that simple. But they are telling a great story. They are. It's that simple. You have The Miz and LA Knight, who are both masters of telling a great story. And in the end, Miz is going to do what he is best at, and that is putting over talent and making them a star. Miz is literally the promo cutting version of Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler puts great people over by having 5-star matches with them. Miz puts people over by having 5-star promos with them.
Yeah, what's there not to like? Like that's exactly like I don't get it. It's like if you hate him, he's doing his job. Like that, Booch, as an analyst, you should be ashamed of yourself right now for becoming a mark on this show so instantly,
Really?
just because he's up against LA Knight.
Oh,
you should.
I've hated The Miz before he was even with LA Knight. And like I said, he's a former world champion. So is David Arquette.
But you hate him.
David Arquette on a damn pedestal?
But you hate him. But you hate him because he does his job. You hate him for doing his job.
For a variety of reasons. I've hated him for a variety of reasons.
All right, let's settle it once and for all.
I've even cooled down on The Miz, but you're the one that always likes to dig the hatchet back up. Ever since, here's the thing. I hated The Miz with a passion for years, but then it's like the old saying. It's like something that Ole Anderson said to Jim Cornette a long time ago. He looked at him and said, "Cornette, I used to think you were a dumb fuck, but so many dumb fucks have come into the business in the last several years, you fell down the ladder without even trying." That's what The Miz did. I used to hate The Miz, but then Matt Riddle showed up. Then Charlotte Flair comes in. You got the Elite over here. You got Jackoff Perry over here. There's so many wrestlers that have come into the business that have been a disgrace. I don't even think about The Miz 90% of the time. He's not even in my radar. But he's on the radar right now, so I got to talk about it. But you bring up my hatred for The Miz more than I do. So I've cooled down on The Miz. I'm bringing it up now because LA Knight was spitting the same facts that I've been spitting. So I just found it like, wow, about time somebody on the roster said it, because everybody else just sits there and lets him brag about shit that's like, okay. Again, he was the only reason you know he's a two-time Grand Slam champion is because Corey Graves keeps reminding you. Because if he didn't remind you, you would forget, because 90% of his matches are forgettable. Tell me where the lie is. Like I said, is he had a classic match? Name it and I'll shut up.
Dude.
Name it. Every match that he had with Daniel Bryan. I loved most of the matches that he had with John Cena. I loved he has had his shit with Morrison. Phenomenal work.
Okay, he's named a couple. All right. See, there you go.
But it's also, Booch, it's bigger than calling back matches. It's what you feel when that name comes to your mind. It's what he brings. It's like,
now, I will say this, Wenz. His issues with The Miz are not from on TV.
Oh, so, I know. And Booch, and that's a good point, Des, because I think once and for all, we should just, for people that haven't, I think we brought this up like 3 years ago in the old world of Wenz, but there's history here, literal history between Mike the Miz and Vinny Bucci. And I don't, for the life of me, I don't think I've ever held a grudge against somebody so long. He doesn't even remember you, Booch. You're the only one that thinks about this. He doesn't even know who you are. You're the only person.
Doesn't know who I am. Like I said, I have my opinion. I express it. I give it here. That's what I do. And I'm giving, like I said, you bring this up though more than I do.
I do it to help you.
You do it all the time.
I do it to help you.
Fine. I said, I haven't thought about him in years.
We talk about him all the time, and every time his name comes up.
You bring him up.
He's a wrestler. Because he's wrestling.
I don't bring it up. That's the difference. I talk about it
because
you bring it up.
You know what? You're right. From now on,
I stop bringing it up.
You know what? From now on, when Miz is in a match, we're skipping the match. No predictions on Miz matches because Booch.
No predictions. I like this shit. It's entertaining to me. Fuck that shit.
Booch gets triggered because Mike wouldn't sign an autograph or something for him back when he was
freaking autograph.
Working for the regular
guy. He's also triggered. He's also triggered when people don't like Goldberg. So that's
what's there to like? He has two moves. Yeah, he has two moves. How do you like that? You talk about somebody that's undeserving. You talk about somebody that's undeserving. That guy, he has two moves.
Yeah,
a spear and a jackhammer.
With two moves, and the Miz can do with 30.
What?
Exactly.
What?
I'm just saying.
What? Miz is what I call a consistent worker. He's never going to be the most exciting wrestler. He's not. He's okay with that. He's not Dolph Ziggler. That's not what he does. But he will consistently put on a solid match. And he is a great person to have when you need somebody to when you need to put someone over and you want to show someone else's moveset. He can take moves really well. He sells moves really well. And he's got a cool moveset that's not super special and not dangerous. Nobody gets hurt working with him. He is a safe worker who always puts on consistent quality matches. And as I said, he's never going to be the top level excitement, but he is a good, solid worker.
Yeah, 100%, Tez. I mean, all three of us picked against him, but we also acknowledge the fact that this is, like it or not, Booch, this is a stepping stone match for LA Knight. Whether you want to admit it or not, it is. And when he wins, it will be celebrated that he beat a 2-time Grand Slam champion, which he did.
Beating the Miz's resume makes LA Knight look good. It's that simple.
And there you have it. Booch, I can't wait till after this pay-per-view, because as I see it, there will be a winner. There is one match that I differed on with both of you guys. So I believe we are going to have a clear-cut winner here in Wenz World on the male soap opera moment. Let us recap, shall we?
Well,
from the
we still
top.
got one more match.
Oh, which one?
We got 2 women locked in a steel cage.
Oh, did we forget about Trish? Oh my God! All right, let me start.
Yeah.
Sorry. You got me all up in my. You got me all messed up. I skipped my bet. All right. Let's reset. It's a good thing this is pre-recorded. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This isn't a triple threat with Lita or anybody, is it?
No, it's Becky Lynch versus Trish Stratus in a steel cage.
I was just busting Desmond for that
Trish,
one.
Okay.
Lita should win this match. We haven't seen her.
I'm going to put Lita in the match. I'm going to put her in the match. Why not? All right. And the final match, we got it. Listen, we got one more match left. Here it is. Steel cage, which will always keep people from interfering, as we know of wrestling past, right? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Never interfered in steel cage.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch going up against Trish Stratus. This is going to be a great match. Personally, I will give you my feelings after I get the feelings of both these guys. But let me just say that I think the Ginger is probably winning this match.
Zach
Desmond,
in this match?
what do you think?
Zach couldn't beat Maria. So I mean,
good point. But yeah, so sorry. Whenever I hear the word the Ginger, we automatically think Zach from the Boochcast. So, who you want to talk about people who hold grudges? He holds grudges worse than anybody. But anyway,
yeah, he makes Vinny look sane.
Yes, I'm very sane compared to him. But anyway, in this, I love this match because again, this is a match that was supposed to happen on SummerSlam and got cut, and it shouldn't have. With the level of talent that's in this is literally a SummerSlam type match we're having on Payback, and I'm excited for this. It's going to be a great battle, and I feel like I don't know how much longer Trish is wrestling for. I don't know how much longer this feud's going to go, but usually in a cage. Unless you're going to do a Hell in a Cell, a cage is usually the end all be all unless someone escapes. Then usually after they escape, they use that as an excuse to continue on. But I feel like, yeah, so I feel like this is going to be the end. And if it is the end, Becky needs to go over. So I'm going with the Becky Lynch.
The other Ginger.
The Ginger, yeah. Go with her.
Yeah, I've got to agree with Vinny. I don't see this rivalry has been doing really well. If they try to postpone it any longer, and it's just goes stale. And with a rivalry that's been this good, you don't want it to go stale. You want to end it when it's hot, and now's the time. Becky Lynch finally won over. Finally gets her just desserts here. She's going to take out Trish Stratus, and the only way that I can see this continuing on is if they put Becky and Trish in an I Quit match later on, to have Trish actually leave the business. But I don't see it happening. I think this is the end. I think this is finally the point where it needs to be Becky Lynch walking out the victor.
Yeah, it's definitely run its course. This this feud needs to end, but it also kind of empowers Zoe Stark because we're gonna see a lot of her. And so we're going to see a lot of her and Becky Lynch down the line. So this kind of sets the path for that, right? So you will never, ever hear an episode of the male soap opera moment without a couple key things, and one of which is have a nice day.
Bang, bang.
Deuces, bitches.